Hey everyone, and welcome back to The People vs. OJ Simpson, American Crime Story, Episode 7 by The Verdict's In. I'm your host, Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we're talking about The People vs. OJ, Episode 7. We watched the episode now twice. Gary, I think you've watched it 3 times.
Yes.
What did you think overall of the episode?
I thought it was a pretty good episode. I haven't been disappointed yet.
Same here. I thought it was pretty good. Although this week, it felt more like entertainment rather than that they were talking about a real case. Like, some stuff was just like, come on. I don't know. Just some of it was like completely seemed like they made up. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, they pushed the envelope a little bit with a couple of things, but I guess that's why we're reviewing the show.
Yeah, that's what entertainment is all about, I guess.
What it's about.
All right, so I want to first talk about Robert Shapiro this week. He's been giving us a little laugh since the beginning.
Yeah.
But this week, he showed up with a police solidarity pin.
Yeah.
Like, was that appropriate for him in this case?
I don't think that was appropriate at all.
Right. Like, I don't see how OJ did not fire him right then and there.
He just been fired a while ago.
Yeah.
I would have fired him when he came in and gave me a story.
Yeah,
and said,
to
okay.
appeal the case, to play plea bargain.
Plea bargain. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I would have fired him then. You know, he's sticking around.
Yeah. And he's talking about a plea deal again. He started saying it to Robert Kardashian.
Yeah.
But when he showed up with the solidarity pin, he seemed like he had no issue with it. Everyone's like, what the fuck is that, you know? And you can even see OJ's look like, what is he doing?
Yeah, it's going completely against the case.
Right. I thought it was funny, though.
It's like he's fighting for OJ, but he's still trying to keep his friends on the other side.
Right. He's preparing. It's like he's preparing for when they lose, that he still wants to be able to have those friends, still be able to be friendly with the cops, and he doesn't want to align himself too close to OJ or disalign himself too much with the police because he knows that relationship needs to continue after this case.
Yeah, but do it?
Well, I mean, he would like for that relationship to continue after this case. I mean, it looks like he would like for that relationship to continue during the case. We saw him trying to talk to the district attorney, I believe, and he wasn't getting no play from there, and you could tell his feelings were real hurt. Like, I'm not with the big boys anymore.
But he is the big boy. I mean, the district attorney, they don't pay his bills. He gets paid by the clients.
That is correct. I don't know what is up with him, but it's still has me laughing.
He's losing golf buddies or something.
Right. I don't know, but it's funny. It's entertaining. And then when he tried to scare Robert Kardashian, though,
he didn't try.
Well, yeah, he successfully scared him.
Yeah, he actually did it.
Like, it was almost like he was gonna plot against him. He's like, well, maybe we can get you off if you didn't know. I'm like, dude, you're making up a whole story once again, just like you did with OJ.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he's good for.
He's good for deals. He's the king of plea bargains.
King of pleas.
Now, would you say that he successfully put doubt in Robert Kardashian's head then?
You can't put doubt in someone's head. That doubt had to already be there. Okay,
he just made it come to surface.
I think it was just our turn to see Robert Kardashian's actions, his feelings on the whole situation. I think the doubts were already there. At first, it started off with, no, it can't be the juice. Not the juice.
Right.
Uncle Juice would never do this. But now it's more so he's sitting in the back and he's actually hearing the case along with everybody else, seeing evidence. Mm-hmm. So I think the doubt was there.
Well, I like that he brought it up once, I believe, to Johnny, and then he brought it up when he went and checked the bag that OJ gave him. But
right.
He made a good point. Like, this is the biggest case ever, and why is there no other suspects? There's no one.
Right.
But if you think about other famous cases, like, I don't know, the John F. Kennedy case, and there's still people still doubt whether, he was killed. He was killed by that man because when there's doubt and there's question and there's not like a for sure thing, it makes it more entertaining. So I don't know. That could be the next case they do, the John F. Kennedy, but I don't know. He brought up some big points. He's like, all the police, even the cuckoo people are paying attention to this case, and no one else has any suspects.
Right.
But just because you don't have any other suspects doesn't mean that, oh, well, since he's our only suspect, he had to have done it.
Right. Well, they can't make their case based on what somebody else could have did. I mean, their case is based on OJ did it. So the district attorney, they gotta push that.
Okay.
They're going after OJ. They're not going after somebody who could be his accomplice or somebody else who could have done it. So, I mean, I can understand why, because why would they bring other people forward? That destroys their case.
Right. Now, did you think he was going to find anything in that bag? Anything incriminating?
I didn't know. I was looking at the bag along with him like, oh, man.
Now, OC, is it OC or?
AC.
AC. He seemed relieved. I know he's like, oh, I know nothing was in that bag, but you could tell. No, his heart was pounding like he started having doubt too. Like, shit, I don't know.
Right.
So I like that scene. I wonder what they would have done if they did find some type of evidence.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of any other suspects involved, they come up with the story. Actually, we see it at the beginning of the episode. I don't know if he's the lawyer, but he's helping them on the case. I believe he was like
he's
jury.
A
professor.
Yeah.
He was like a jury expert or something else, right? Or he was some type
I
of
think
expert.
he was like one of the leading attorneys at one point, or he still is expert on cases, whatever.
He's expert on something.
And because I remember Shapiro was saying, "Oh man, like the biggest attorney is saying that I'm a king of pleas," and you know, he's real big in this field.
Okay. Now, he comes up with the idea of throwing a different story in. They've been talking about, we need to give the jury a different narrative. We need to take it off of OJ.
Well, he was saying that what Johnny was good for. He was telling his class, you see what Johnny is doing. He's giving them other scenarios. He's putting on everybody but his client. So he was just saying that that's how you do. You tell a story. He was saying he was the ringleader. If it's going to be a circus, you might as well be the ringleader.
Okay.
Or was it the ringmaster? Yeah.
Well, he faxes Johnny Cochran and says Colombian necktie.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that term, that phrase before you did?
Yeah.
Did you hear about it during the OJ Simpson case, or you heard about prior to that or after that, or where did you first hear it?
I mean, it's real big now.
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard of it, ever. I looked it up after we watched the show, and then it actually, on Wikipedia, it references the OJ Simpson case and everything like that.
Right.
Now, hearing stuff, you do hear about people, and I think they mentioned it before in previous episodes, could it have been something due to drug-related?
Right.
Could Nicole have been in a drug situation? But she was a lady of means. Why she would have money, it seems, to pay her drug bills, Well,
I think that was just a story that they were throwing out there. Like another scenario.
Okay.
Get the jury seeing other options. Other things that could have happened. And, put doubt.
A doubt is always good, at least for the defense.
Yeah.
Okay. Another interesting thing, and we saw it kind of raised last week, but they really delved into it a little more this episode, was Johnny Cochran's situation.
Right.
So not only was he a woman beater, he was also living a double life.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Interesting. I don't know what to think about that. It seems like they knew he was living a double life, both women. Like his wife at the time said, she kind of figured it, but she was just so in love with him. She was just letting a lot of things go. Mm-hmm. And who did he get accused of hitting?
He got accused of hitting the wife.
Oh, it was the wife.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought it was Barbara.
I thought Barbara was the wife.
No, I think Patricia's the wife.
Okay. Now, it was funny that we saw last week Marsha's life torn apart, and I think we both agreed that we felt bad for her. Like, damn, she has horrible ex-husbands,
right,
that are putting her business on the street.
Yeah, who does that?
But did you feel that same way when you saw Johnny's ex-wife and ex-mistress doing the same thing?
You know what? I didn't.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it was a different situation. Well, we don't have any reason to dislike Marsha and to think that Marsha's done anything wrong. So this is make it kind of different. I mean, we don't have any reason to dislike Johnny either, but the situations are just wrong. Living double lives,
yeah,
abuse, Those are wrong situations. So you can't feel the same way. Marsha's husband put out there that, he had the kids. She don't have time for the kids.
Right.
Big whoop-de-whoop. You know what I'm saying? Everybody see her every day in court. She's working. But when you put out this other scenario about somebody else, the scenario that they may be a woman beater, or they may have been living double lives, had 2 kids at the same time by 2 different women, then, that emotion that you would have for somebody like Marsha, where you like, oh, they put her business out there. It's like, wow, tell me more when it comes to Johnny.
Right.
What else happened? What else was he doing?
Right. Although I would say that I do want to make clear Johnny was not the one on trial here. So to me, still what does his personal life have to do with anything with the case?
Well, you see that it's all entertainment now. Because that's like saying, what Marsha's personal life, what does her hairstyle have to do with the case?
Right.
I mean, this has turned into a e-television event.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And they do that all the time with big cases. John Benet Ramsey, the Casey Anthony story. You start hearing all different types of stuff that kind of swayed from the case at hand that people were dead. Kids were dead in these 2 cases.
Right. It's like entertainment is a big money business. That
and they'll spend anything into entertainment.
Right. Because that's what's going to get the people attention watching. Because if you think about it, no one's going to sit there and watch court TV, watch the whole trial stuff. Because there's a lot of dead period. There's a lot of slow talking.
Right.
There's a lot of things that you may not understand, or you may not care to understand, because it just feels so boring.
Right.
Even though it could be relevant to the case, I mean, it just feels so boring. So in order for another program to get ratings, let's say Fox News, CBS, or whatever news station, in order for it to get a ratings, they got to bring out the entertainment part or focus on one part of it that may be very entertaining, maybe big money business.
Okay, such as what a woman's wearing or her outfit, or
I don't think Fox focuses on what they're wearing, but they may take a particular story. I mean, that's more of a VH1 E channel focus on what she have on. Mm-hmm. But Fox may focus on one part of a story, or not just Fox, all news stations may focus on one part of the story and make it just more relevant than the actual cases itself.
Right. Yeah, I didn't feel bad for Johnny in this case. I did, and I'm not saying these women don't have a right to tell their story. It just seemed like, why are you doing it now when this case is happening?
Well, this is when they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not trying to judge him. I did not feel sorry for Johnny. But I did think, okay, why are these women coming out telling their business at this time? Like, they both have children involved in both of these relationships.
You know what? I don't feel bad about them coming out and telling their business now, because now they got the media platform. Sometimes when stuff is going on, you don't have a voice. Johnny's famous. His wife's not. They weren't famous. So when Johnny was doing what Johnny was doing, they didn't have that voice right then. Johnny would go and live his life, be on TV, doing the whole court thing, getting big, have his own shows, and they don't have a voice then. They're in the background. Nobody really cares what they have to say at that point. But now they have that platform where people want to hear what they got to say, and they want to put it out there now. Like, this is not the good guy y'all thought he was.
Okay. Yeah, I actually agree with you when you put it that way. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they were. I mean, I don't know if the wife. Well, yeah, the wife was abused, but could the mistress really? Is she really a victim in this? Like,
well, if she don't know she's a mistress.
Okay. All right. And
and when they say a double life, that means that you live in like 2 separate lives.
Yeah, it's possible.
Like his wife said that she didn't say that she knew, but she said she kind of had a feeling. And it's, a lot of times, people in a relationship have feelings that something may be going on, but you just don't know for sure because your feeling could be wrong.
Right. All right. So Johnny's wife, his current wife, is really pissed off. And we find out that she knew about his past all along, but now it's embarrassing for her because her family, friends, even her pastor, her church members, now it's like, to me, it was kind of like, I can't put up this phony that we have the perfect life anymore because now your dirty laundry has come out.
No, I didn't feel bad for her.
You didn't?
I didn't feel bad for that situation. I thought that was wrong.
That was wrong of her?
Of her.
To say that to him?
Right.
Okay. I kind of did too.
I thought it was wrong for her not to have his back.
I kind of did too, because when he said you knew about this before, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, when you get in a relationship and you know he already put it out there to you. When it comes out, the rest of the world know it. You still chose to be with him.
Right. And I think she was more, it was clear. She was more embarrassed than anything.
Right.
Like, damn, everyone probably thinks I have this perfect life. Now they're finding out stuff about you. And now I can't pretend that we have the perfect life. I mean, she could still say, hey, we have the perfect life. That was the old Johnny. He's not like that anymore.
And then she tried to throw it in his face that, you wanted to, be the ringmaster. You want to,
put your life out there.
Put your life out there. Now you got it. But she's the one who was saying that she hoped that he gets the case.
Yeah, she's actually the one that encouraged him to go after the case. So
yeah, because he didn't want the case.
Right. I thought that as well. All right, so next we get the glove incident. So we saw the glove, OJ trying on the glove. The whole glove incident was a big part of this episode.
Right.
What did you think of it?
Well, I thought it was interesting that Marsha didn't want him to try it on.
Okay, yeah. Now, do you think, I guess this is just from the show perspective, but she was very rude to him about not trying on the glove and I'm the boss. This is my case. Da da da.
How many times she had to tell him no?
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
That's like a kid saying, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, mommy." To give you the 100 mommies.
Right. Now, for entertainment purposes, we are discussing the show. Can you really believe that he did that? That he went behind her back, even though she told him no, and he was like, "Okay, let's have her try it on. Let's have him try it on."
Well, for entertainment, yes. I seen the show. He did it,
right?
But I can't believe that. I have a feeling that in actuality, she probably didn't want to, and said was against it,
right?
But I don't think that they went back and forth like that.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Speaking on the show, that if it went like that and she said no 100 times, he should have never did that,
right?
But my thing is, why didn't she want him to try the gloves on? If those are the murder gloves, the gloves that he had on when he committed the murder, I'm with Chris. I'm like, yo, make him put the gloves on. I wouldn't think that there's no reason that he shouldn't try them on. So I didn't understand where Marsha was coming from. Because these are your murder gloves. These are the gloves that was found at one house and another one found at the other house. So if these are your murder gloves with the blood on it and everything, if this is your suspect, he got to be able to fit those gloves. He have to. So why not have him try it on? So that part kind of confused me a little bit when it comes to Marsha. Like, no, I don't want him to try it on.
If you're so sure about it.
Because you're sure that this is your suspect. And, that brings up a lot of other cases in my mind. Like, we spoke about Murder on a Sunday.
Right.
Where, the police put a young kid in the back of the police car and drove him to a couple. The boy didn't know where he was going. He was walking to get a job.
Yeah.
Just going on a job interview or pickup application. But the police put him in the back of the police car, and they drove him to a hotel, and the couple said, yeah, that's him. So you could tell that, police had a description of how the guy really looked.
Even though he did not match that description.
Even though he didn't match the description. But where I'm going at with this, because this is a whole different case, but where I'm going at with this is that, obviously, if you didn't think the gloves didn't fit him, maybe you knew that those weren't the real gloves, or maybe you don't think that he's actually the person who did it. There's one or two things.
I think she thinks he did it. I think she didn't want a chance that the gloves wouldn't fit.
Obviously she didn't want to do that, but why wouldn't you want a chance that? Why wouldn't the gloves fit? If these are your murder gloves, why wouldn't the gloves fit?
Maybe he was wearing too small gloves that night. He's like, they don't fit, but I got a crime to commit.
I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but I'm saying that what did she know about those gloves? Because maybe those weren't really the gloves, and she knew those weren't really like, okay, well, these are similar gloves, and there's, but these are not actually the real ones. So, Chris, we don't want to put these on him.
Right.
I'm not saying that she didn't think he did it, but I'm saying that those are the only two options when you don't want somebody to put on something that's theirs, that you found at the scene that will link them to it.
Right. I mean, I would think if that was my case, I'd go, oh, have them try on the gloves and show that they fit. However, I was talking to my mom a few weeks ago when we first started covering this show. And actually on the first episode, I think you and I had disagreed. I was like, there was only one glove. And you were like, no, they found two gloves. So to me, sometimes it's like, I'm like, oh, he did it. And then sometimes it's like, no, he didn't. But hearing again that there was two gloves, one at the murder scene, one at his house, it's just kind of weird. Like, how did two gloves get at both places and neither of them are his? I don't know. It just seems a little weird in a way. I mean, it points to him, but then in a way that since neither of them fit, it points to a setup. I don't know. I'm conflicted. But what I will tell you, my mom said, and my mom's a nurse, she was like, she didn't feel that a bloody leather glove dries up a little. So maybe that's why it was too small. Because he had a latex glove on first. I don't know, it was powder free, whatever the case may be. Then he had the leather glove. If it's the real glove and it had blood up on it, it would have dried the leather up and made it all crinkly and too hard to put on. And maybe that's why it didn't fit. Is that a possibility?
I think those were expensive gloves. And, you know, leather is skin. So I'm pretty sure that leather is stretched. I'm pretty sure that leather, like a leather sofa, a leather, you know, it's not like they got pleather. OJ wasn't walking around doing stuff, or Nicole didn't buy them pleather gloves. I'm pretty sure they were real leather, which have a little stretch to them. So I don't buy that, you know, maybe it was wet or they scribbled up, or I just can't buy that. You know, at my job, we sell leather gloves.
Okay.
So I don't think it don't matter what happens to that leather glove. I mean, I can see the leather getting a little moldy from being wet or having the blood on it from the bacteria, but I can't see it shrinking. But the thing is, I'm not saying that OJ's innocent or just that. I'm saying that Johnny said in a couple of episodes that, you know, when they have their suspect, they try to go through lengths to prove that that's their suspect, that they might do a little stuff extra. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, we know this is him. We can't let him get away. So let's throw a glove here and throw a glove there.
Right.
Because, I mean, this motherfucker's not Cinderella.
Yeah.
He didn't drop a glass slipper at the murder scene, then drop another glass slipper at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that the glove thing, I don't believe that those were actually, well, it was kind of proven that those weren't actually the gloves. But
wait, it was proven that those weren't actually the gloves?
Well, it was proven that he can't fit the gloves.
Okay.
That was proven that he couldn't fit the gloves. So I'm thinking
at the time of trial.
I'm thinking if he can't fit the gloves, then those aren't the gloves. So I think that, you know, if he is guilty, I think that kind of messed up the case by even bringing the gloves out.
Okay. And then how did Robert Shapiro try on the glove? No one noticed him go up there. He didn't have no latex on his hand. He went and tried the glove on. That was, I don't know. Do you believe that happened? It just seems so crazy. He walks up, tries the evidence on. No one's protecting that evidence right there.
Right. That's kind of, you know, those are bloody gloves.
Right. You just going to try on some nasty ass bloody gloves?
That was kind of crazy. But, you know, Robert Shapiro don't have it all.
Yeah. Okay, but however, they find receipts to 2 pairs of these extra large gloves. So that actually brings more questions than answers to me. We know Nicole bought these gloves, these same pair. She bought 2 pairs. Who did she give the other pair to? Did OJ talk to his attorneys about it and say, oh, well, yeah, she did buy them, but I never got a pair. If she bought them, I didn't know about it. Or, yeah, she bought them to me, but I gave them away to a brother or a kid or whoever. So I wonder if there was ever any backstory. Like, we never see him talk about his knowledge of the gloves.
Right.
Like, we never get to see him say, yeah, I have those same gloves, but that's not mine. And she bought 2 pairs. So who got the other pair?
Well, maybe she bought a pair for herself and one for him.
Okay, but they were extra large, but Nicole was a tall lady, so it's possible she could have wore extra large gloves as well.
Or maybe they both were for her.
Okay.
I mean, we don't even know if those were, for the way it looked on his head, we don't even know those were men gloves.
Oh, yeah, because they didn't address that either. Were they men gloves or women gloves?
Yeah, she could have bought the gloves for herself.
And then, I mean, I don't know.
I can't see it. Extra large pair of men gloves not fitting a man.
That's what I thought too. I was like, damn, if those extra large don't fit him, what size is there? Is there extra large pair of gloves?
Gloves go up to 2X and 3X. But,
okay.
I mean, OJ have to have some crazy big hands.
Yeah, so you're thinking maybe they were women-sized gloves.
They could have been women's size.
That makes sense.
But all I'm saying is there's just so much evidence that point to him doing it. Why mess it up with something that you may have knowledge that may not have really been a part of it?
Well, maybe Marsha, do you think she had knowledge that those were women gloves or that they were, I mean, it seems like someone would have mentioned that, hey, those are actually women gloves. Because they said they only sold 300 pair of those gloves.
Well, like I'm saying, when Chris brought it up, I'm thinking like, wow, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. I mean, wouldn't you think that if those were the murder gloves and you already have your suspect and you know he did it? Because in her heart, she knows he did it.
Right.
So it would be nothing in my head, like I said before, that make me think that, she's not going to fit these. So there got to be a little knowledge somewhere that says, no, we're not having them try those gloves on. It could backfire. There's some knowledge somewhere.
Okay. And then my next question is, I mean, and as we stated, she got these gloves from Bloomingdale's, expensive store.
Right.
But I lose gloves all the time. Like, I have buy gloves today, and they may be gone. They may be lost 2 months from now or a month from now after the season's over. So they said her receipt was from 1990, and this murder happened in 94.
Well, the receipts were it was from 1990 to 1990. It was like a couple of years.
It was a span.
Yeah, it was a span. Like, I guess she keeps really good records.
Okay. Because I was going to...
Because you got to think about it. In the 90s, that you really had to keep good records.
Right.
Because you couldn't just grab your smartphone and go online and say, oh, I spent this, that, the other. Let me print it
I
out.
was thinking that too. Like, who keeps that? But
well, I mean, I know my parents kept that.
Okay.
They kept, records of everything. But now, I understand we don't keep records of nothing. We go straight to our smartphone and just...
Right. You just go online and see. Okay, because that's another thing that I thought was a little weird. I'm like, damn, she had those gloves for 4 years. I mean, that's a long lifespan for gloves, in my opinion. But, I'm buying like $5 gloves. Those gloves were probably like $200. I'm not sure, but I'm like
$300.
Yeah, like
pair or something. No, it was
they had
300 pair.
Yeah, they had 300 pair, but they didn't mention the price.
Though.
Yeah, I mean, real leather from Bloomingdale's. I can only imagine what the gloves cost.
Right.
Okay, I kind of want to know a little more, now that we're talking about, I kind of want to know a little bit more about these gloves. Did they discuss, were they men's, were they women's? What's the biggest size they come in? Because extra large already seems kind of big.
No, they come in 2X, 3X.
Okay, and if they didn't fit OJ, did he talk about, hey, no, Nicole knows I wear size 2X gloves? Or, those are just some questions I have now that we're discussing it here.
Right.
All right, so let's talk about the missed love connection that we got this episode. We see Chris and Marsha. They take a road trip with each other, and he invites her to meet his friends, and they have a good time at a bar. They're drinking, and there's some conversation I kind of want to discuss in the bar that happened in the bar, because his friends keep trying to bring up the case, and Marsha's like, nope, let's not discuss the case. Like, we're off work. This is this is our time just to unwind and not think about that.
Yeah.
But somehow, of course, they get dragged into discussing the case.
Yeah.
And the two friends, there was two of them that had an idea. One said, yeah, he probably did it because OJ was on a show and they were teaching him all this crazy stuff on the show. I don't know. Like kung fu. I don't know what they were teaching.
No, that wasn't kung fu. He was supposed to be on probably was like a Marine type show where they was teaching him all kind of kill techniques with knives.
Okay.
I guess pressure points. Where to do, when you're acting, you got to take the classes, and sometimes you train with real professionals,
right? And
they just to make it look real, they say, well, you had to hit him right here, here, here. So that's what he tried to bring up. But like Marsha and Chris Carter said, that people can associate television from reality, which I call bullshit on that.
I do too. People meet all week, or since we've been recording this show, all I keep talking about is Ross. And that's not Ross. No, we cannot. So we cannot put away reality and TV. It just goes hand in hand with us.
It goes hand in hand.
So they should have brought
life
that
imitates
up.
art.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I mean, that would have been. I mean, I guess they give people a little too much credit Because I know when I heard it on the show, I'm like, hold up, they telling what?
Right. I was thinking that same thing. Like, wait, so he knew how to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if we saw, what's the guy that plays Jack Bauer? Like, imagine when people see him. They probably, like, see him and think, that dude can kick ass.
Right.
Keith Sutherland, you know?
Yeah.
But no, he's not Jack Bauer. But, like, you know, people sometimes cannot take reality and separate reality from fantasy.
Right.
So to me, yeah, they should have brought it up.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
I mean, you might not want to go against him. Mr. Miyagi.
Joffrey from Game of Thrones. I heard he was getting kill threats all the time. People hated seeing him on the street. So
right.
Yeah.
And this was like a sci-fi, wasn't it?
Right. I mean, Daenerys, they're asking her where her dragons are.
Yeah, dragons and stuff.
So yeah. I think they could have brought it up, and if it went sour, it went sour, but it wouldn't hurt to put that doubt in people's head.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt at all.
But his other friend mentions how, okay, he was set up by the police. And that's kind of the story that the defense has been going with, and a lot of people in the public has been going with.
Yeah.
And sometimes it sounds conspiracy when you hear people saying set up by the police, but then you hear real life stories and you see video footage of police setting people up, that now it's not really like, it's not like, oh yeah, that doesn't happen. It's kind of believable. Like, yeah, it's possible it can happen.
Yeah, every time you get on Facebook, you may see something.
Yeah, you see video footage. So you know now it's not like people are just making that stuff up.
Right.
Now, whether that was still happening in the 90s, but it could be because 2 years prior, they had just beat up Rodney King and that was on video. So, not saying all bad police are bad, but now people realize that not everything is on the up and up with all police officers.
Yeah, well, not everything is a conspiracy theory. Like, these things really happen.
Really do happen. The police beat me up. Yes, they did. It's on video. So, yeah, I can see that. And then people don't want to believe that this guy, their hero, is a killer, a brutal killer. So, it's only easier to say that, hey, the police did it. But Marsha, I think she did a really good job of debunking that theory.
Yeah.
You know, I liked how the reenactment did, you know, and it showed her talking. And so with hearing her talk about how it's so impossible for the police to have done it, do you agree?
Do I agree with?
That there's no way the police could have done it. I mean, it's just too many things they would have to have done, and so many people involved, and it's like they would have to, as soon as they saw the dead body, they would have to say, okay, let's set OJ up for this. Okay,
I agree and I disagree. I agree with, there's way too much evidence going back and forth. Nobody could have did that. But I disagree with, saying that they didn't do anything. And like I said, the gloves put a lot of doubt in my head that maybe, they thought they had a slam dunk, but they just wanted to, seal the case. And, I think they may have, like, putting a shoe in the trunk, putting a bloody shoe in your trunk. I mean, first of all, that should have went straight to the lab. He should have picked up the shoe. He should have pointed at it, and they should have ziplocked it.
Right.
Well, I mean, at least that's what I think. I watch a lot of cop shows.
yeah, CSI stuff.
I think that's how it goes. You point at it, they ziplock it. So I think that they probably felt like, oh, this is a slam dunk, but we got to make sure for sure that he's not going to get out of this one. We know he did it, but we're just going to go ahead and sprinkle some crack on him. Is
that Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle,
sprinkle some crack on him.
We know he's a drug dealer, but we just going to go ahead, so everybody else, so they won't be confused, we just sprinkle some crack on him.
Right.
So, that's why I say I agree that, I don't think they'd go through all the trouble with go here, do this, go back here, do this, go here, do that, and go that. That just sounds far-fetched to me. But don't agree that nothing happened. They didn't do anything.
Okay. And as I said a few episodes ago, just because the police did do some tampering with evidence does not make him not guilty. It just makes the police also guilty of tampering with evidence.
Right. Yeah, that's what Johnny
Cochran's associate
said. Yeah. She said, well, just because the police did do tampering doesn't mean that he didn't do it.
Right. And I agree. And I think they're doing a very good job with the show as far as like keeping it entertaining, because each week I'm going back and forth with my thoughts on the case. Like, oh, well, I don't know. They had a good point. Or sometimes I'm like, dang, this case seems, slam dunk tight or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
then the next episode, you be like, hold up.
Yeah.
Why didn't they look for somebody else?
Right. So they're doing a really good job keeping me entertained.
Yeah. Why did this? I mean, it's a lot of questions. It's a lot of questions.
Right.
I have a lot of questions. So I can't say, I mean, I have a feeling. I don't want to put my feelings out there. Mm-hmm. But watching the show, it'd be hard to say whether he did or didn't.
Right.
Because the arguments on both sides are good. I think right now in the show that it's 1 point up for the defense.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
But, I mean, that happened toward the end of the show. At the beginning of the show, it was 1 point up for the
offense or the prosecutor.
The prosecutor,
side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when they said they found a receipt for the gloves, I'm like, oh, wow.
Right. Interesting. Oh, and speaking of when they found the receipt for the gloves, OJ's kids come out and they're like, are you helping our daddy, find the man that hurt our mommy? So I'm glad it showed that they kept the kids kind of away from what was going on.
Right. Well, not anymore.
No, definitely not anymore. And I'm pretty sure as they got older, and I can only imagine how a child would feel having to think that, like, did my dad kill my mom? Or
right.
If they know without a shadow of doubt my dad killed my mom, or if they know that the dad didn't, but everyone thinks he did, it has to really mess with a child.
It do. I guarantee you right now they're watching People vs. OJ with everybody else.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it'd be too hard to watch.
I know people are watching. I know they're watching.
Well, I saw Chris Darden the other day on Team Z, and they asked him if he was watching. He's like, no, I have better stuff to do.
Well, I think that he knew this embarrassing part was coming up.
Oh, yeah. Like, no, I'm not watching. And they're like, are you planning on watching? He's like, nope, I have other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there is no way you're not watching this.
Yeah, you gotta wonder how they doing, how they portray your character. How you're
portraying, yeah.
I know. I'll be trying to watch.
I mean, if I was OJ's kids, they're not really in the show, so why watch? But who knows? They may. But if it was a show about me, and I'm like star of the show, no, I'm going to be watching. Because I'll be yelling at the TV, that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Well, they have websites and you have like the Kardashians and different people involved in it. They're actually saying what happened was fact or fiction.
Yeah, there's fact or fiction. And then we are going to try to do an episode after the show airs, after the season's over, on kind of our opinions on the true life case once we look at every evidence that we can find that's from the real case.
Right. I mean, you can find it all on YouTube.
Right. There's a lot of YouTube
of
the court case.
The glove scene in, type any scene you want to see, you can type in and you can actually see it.
Yeah. I'm excited about some scenes, some famous remarks that I want to see. I want to watch the real video of that.
Right.
All right. So, final scene of the Chris Marsha road trip, is they go back to their rooms and his friends kind of put in his ear like, dude, if you're going to make a move, tonight needs to be it. And the show portrays it as clearly Marsha wanted him to make a move.
It's clearly both of them wanted to make a move.
Well,
let's make that clear.
No, I mean, yes, it's definitely clear that they both want to make a move.
Because he had to tell his homeboy something for his homeboy to say, yo, if you're going to do it, tonight's the night.
Yeah.
So he was on the phone bragging to his homeboy like, yeah, I'm going to hit that. He had to be saying something to him for him to put in his head because, guys, we don't just go to our friend and they homegirl like, oh, yeah, if you're going to hit it, you're going to hit it tonight. Right. They have to have told us before what they're trying to do or they have feelings for them. Something.
Now, they lingered for so long. It's starting to be uncomfortable. I was like, dude, are you going to do it or not? And then when it was clear he wasn't, I don't know. Do you think he made the right choice, given that they worked together and everything like that?
I think they're both grown. So it doesn't matter what decision they would have made. It was their decision. Okay.
And then the glove scene actually came after that scene. And did it seem like Marsha was being, she was kind of being standoffish after that?
Yeah, she was.
Because he brought her coffee. She's like, I already drank some. He's got to close the door, keep it open.
Right.
So it kind of showed her as a woman scorned, and maybe, that's what I meant by it got a little more entertainment.
And I know that's what you were saying, that she was a woman scorned, but I had to take another standpoint on it.
What is your standpoint?
My standpoint is maybe she just went to enjoy herself. And she saw that, okay, wow, this is going too far. He's really digging me. He liked me, but I don't feel the same way. And usually when people find out somebody like them, they don't feel the same way. And they think to themselves like, damn, maybe it's something I'm doing to to make them think that this is okay or whatever.
Oh.
So maybe she was standoff for that reason. Like, okay, now I got my own coffee today.
Okay, well,
I mean, but I can see it both ways. I can see it both ways. Maybe she like, oh, he played me.
Yeah.
I went on this trip so I could, sow my royal oats.
No, well, I see. That's a good point. The only reason why I disagree is because that day when he sat down, he's like, "Okay, Marsha, let's just go for it." And her eyes kind of lit up, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" Like trying to be flirty, like she was being annoyed. He's like, "I think we should have him try on the glove." And you can see that smile like slowly erase her from her face because she was probably thinking, "Go for it," as in let's date, let's just go on a date. That's how I took it. Because when he said, "Let's go for it," I was like, oh, she about to get excited. And then when he's like, let's have him try on the glove, you could tell she got like, what? This is what he's talking about?
Right.
In my opinion.
I don't think she had dating on her mind.
Oh, no, that's what it looked like. Because it was the day after they got back.
I think she had more than that on her mind.
Oh, I mean, well, I was saying date in like a PG way, kind of way.
Okay. But it could go both ways. I mean, either she wasn't, because I feel when I saw that, maybe she wasn't, she thought, okay, maybe I got drunk and this almost went too far.
Right.
So I got to back up. But then, I mean, it could be the other way also.
Okay.
But I'm going to say they're both grown. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong thing that they should have did. If they chose to go all the way that night, they're grown people.
Right.
I mean, as long as they can handle it afterwards. As long as they can still work together.
Right.
They probably, if they would have did, they probably would have won the case.
Yeah.
The chemistry would have been on. Playing footsie under the table. Knowing each other, thinking like, oh, okay, you going to do that? Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. It's no telling.
Okay. And speaking of actually going all the way, we did get to see a closer relationship with Johnny and Shapiro. They finally kind of slapped hands and let the bygones be bygones when they won that glove incident.
Yeah, that was good to see. I was happy to see that.
We kind of glossed over it, but before Chris Darden, or right when Chris Darden said, Your Honor, we'd like him to try on the glove, Johnny's like, I have no objection to this. I was like, damn, you played him like that. Like, that was so wrong, but it was so funny at the same time, too.
Yeah, they played him.
Because he was like a little kid that just, like, fell for the trap.
Yeah, but when you said we missed over this, I thought you was going to go back to Shapiro when he saw OJ in the jail. Mm-hmm. When he was saying, yeah, Johnny cooked up this. Oh, he said, this, what's it called? Defense not going to work. The police set him up or... No,
he didn't say that at the jail. He said that to them. He's like, do you guys want to do another defense besides this police set him up? He's like, let's try him on the glove.
Because remember he told OJ that, this, what he said, disrupt cops. Or what was that? And OJ tells him, hold up, you came up with this defense.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. The dishonest cops or whatever.
Yeah. Corrupt.
Correct.
It wasn't disrupt, but yeah. No, disrupt cops. What am I talking about? But I'm talking about the corrupt cops.
Right.
And OJ tells like, hold up. You came up with this, which he did.
Yeah, he did.
Because he came up with that before Johnny came on.
Yeah, he's like, you're the one that said we needed Johnny and all this
in order to make it work. They said, this is what we're going with, but we're going to need Johnny to make it work.
Yeah. They're portraying Robert Shapiro in a very bad light because he seems very weak.
Nah.
You don't think so?
I mean, they're not portraying him. I mean, I don't think they're portraying him in a good light, but I don't think he seems weak.
You don't see? Okay, who would you want as your lawyer, Robert Shapiro or Johnny Cochran? If they were both
Johnny
alive.
Cochran.
Yeah, Johnny Cochran.
No doubt. I mean, only reason, because, I don't feel like taking a plea for nothing.
Right. Oh, no, wait. One more thing I want to say before we go. Johnny Cochran, the day after they brought his wife's one on air, and he came back, and Marsha's like, I want to see his reaction. And the reporters ask him about it, and he's like, y'all making me sick.
That should be ashamed of yourself.
That should be ashamed of yourselves. He's like, there are 2 dead people. I died.
Innocent man on trial.
Right, I died. That was like so funny. He knows how to spin things. Like that conversation ended quickly about him and the ex-wife, the double lover, or whatever, double life or whatever. It was funny.
Yeah, that was over before it started.
Right. It was like, I'm gonna nip that in the butt.
But it was funny that Marsha wanted to sit back and watch.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm just sitting back. I want to see what happened when he come in.
Yeah.
And I know I'll probably be the same way when I sit back. I'm like, oh, like, here he come.
And I guess we kind of got to be like the news stations. We saw Marsha Clark with her hair straightened. What did you think? The straightened hair now.
That's how I remember her. So,
okay.
when I saw her with the straight hair, I didn't even notice when the show came on she had straight hair until you said something about her hair. Mm-hmm. Because as far as I can remember back, I don't really remember the curly hair. I remember, all the scenes of the case I remember, she had straight hair.
Okay. Well, we had to talk about that as well as her outfits. Just joking. I don't really know what she was wearing. But, all right. Well, you guys, that covers everything for this episode. We will be back. We have 3 more episodes. Episode 8, 9, and 10, I'm guessing. 3 more episodes left. We can't wait to talk about it. And then afterwards, we'll have a bonus episode talking about the real case at hand. We appreciate you guys always listening. Yeah. If you have any feedback, you can send it to us at host@theverdictsin.com. That is HOSTS @theverdictsin.com. Or you can also write us on Twitter @theverdictsin or facebook.com/verdictsin. And be sure to check out our website, theverdictsin.com. That's where all of our podcasts are. Our first podcast ever, Game of Thrones. Last season, we covered season 5. Season 6 is starting in about a month. And then we also have The Walking Dead, right. Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Empire's coming back on at the end of this month. Ballers, which is HBO show, really good.
Good show.
Starring The Rock.
It was HBO #1 show.
Yes, it was really good. It was real fun to watch. What else? Just check out our website. Check us out. Always Google The Verdict's End, and you can find all of our podcasts on iTunes and Stitcher and TuneIn Radio.
And leave us a rating on iTunes.
Yes, leave us a rating and review on iTunes if you like us, and listen to all of our other podcasts, and you like those, leave a rating and review on those feeds as well. All right, well, thanks so much for listening. I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.